If you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but still not seeing results, or if you just want a smarter, simpler way to eat, then this conversation is for you. I'm your host, Dr. Andreas Enfeldt, and let's get into it. All right, Ted, welcome to the show. And I know you're launching a book today.
The book took forever. It was, I would estimate 3,000 hours or probably way more.
So this is your second book. I think you did the PE diet before, right?
Right. I did the PE diet, and that's still out there. It's been translated into Spanish, French, Portuguese. Here I am with version 2. This is just an evolution. Well, I wrote the PE diet kind of to help myself out because it's basically compressing what I want my patients to know about diet. And so instead of, spending, I have 15 minutes with each patient, instead of spending time talking to them about it, I'm just like, hey, check this out. And here you go. So it was kind of like a cheat button for me in my day job.
And your day job, you're a family physician, right? Just for people who don't know you.
Oh, correct. Right. Yeah. I'm a full-time primary care doctor down in the trenches, just seeing patients, also teaching medical students and residents and interns and all sorts of people. And so I'm teaching and seeing patients all day, and I don't have a ton of extra time. So this was just like a cheat button for me for, handing out some diet and exercise advice to people. A lot of people haven't really figured out how it works and how amazing it really is. It's kind of like when I started out, I trained at Loma Linda University in Southern California. It's this plant-based mecca. It's kind of like one of these blue zones, and everyone's plant-based there. And I didn't really have a lot of nutrition education while I was there, but it was just assumed that, of course, a plant-based diet is going to be the best, and that's important. But then that was, 30 seconds, and we moved on from there to medications. And I felt like nobody there was really that healthier than a lot of other people on average. And so I didn't feel like the diet part was very important. And I think it's because I wasn't really looking at the right part of diet. I thought, okay, as long as it's plant-based and it's low in cholesterol, this has to be the best diet. But yet it's not that powerful, so maybe diet's not that big a deal. And so I wasn't very passionate about diet. I didn't really focus on diet. I didn't spend a lot of time talking about diet. And I think that's because I just didn't get it at the time. And I didn't have the right direction and the right focus. And I hadn't really seen exactly what it was capable of doing. And I think that's true for a lot of physicians. I think a lot of physicians know, okay, everyone should be eating a healthy diet, sure, blah, 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 whatever. But they haven't particularly nailed it for themselves. They're not particularly any healthier than anybody else. And so why would they really push that on their patients or be passionate about it or have a specific direction for their patients to go in because they know that it has practical value and it's very powerful and it's actionable and it's, achievable and it's practical and all these things. And so I feel like a lot of doctors just don't really get it. You know what I mean? They haven't internalized it. They haven't figured it out for themselves. And so I'm passionate about it because I kind of have figured it out and I know what the big levers to pull are. And that's, I think, the difference between me and some other people.
You've been passionate about this for probably more than 20 years, right?
Right. And I did not figure it out right away. And that's why I have a lot of grace for anyone who hasn't, because I, ping-ponged around from plant-based to paleo to, I've been vegan, carnivore, and everything in between, So I really understand there's so much out there that a lot of people don't really get it. There's so many dogmas, there's so many different ideologies, and there's so much advice out there that's conflicting that I think it's kind of paralyzing for most people, including myself. And so I didn't really figure it out for years and years and years. And it took experimenting on myself. It took interactions with all of my patients and clients and seeing their outcomes. And it took just poring over the primary literature on diet and health. And so it hasn't been easy. And I really forgive anyone who hasn't figured all of this out yet, because it took me decades, and I'm sure I still haven't figured everything out yet. So it's an evolution and it's a process. And it takes a lot. So it's not that obvious. Everybody's right about something in the diet space. The vegans are right about something. The carnivores are right about something. The paleo people are right about something. So carnivores are correct about a bunch of stuff. First of all, animal food always has a higher protein percent than plant food. I mean, always, if you do a first approximation, basically animals are at a higher trophic level than plants. So animals have bioaccumulated a bunch of nutrients. They've bioaccumulated protein. They've bioaccumulated lots of micronutrients. And the tissues of these animals is going to automatically have a higher protein percent and a higher nutrient density. And they're totally right about that. So this is amazing. The problem is when you get so reductivist that you're like, all animal food is great and all plant food is terrible. You could end up just eating hot dogs, that are 13% protein and loaded with saturated fat, which is a non-essential nutrient, basically empty calories, and really maybe not get all the way to the finish line. I think that's an example just of, where carnivore is right in.
It's a cool example. Let's just quickly go to the vegans then. What are they right about?
So the vegans are right. So basically, plants are automatically super low energy density. You get this amazing satiety per calorie because the energy density is so low. This is great, right? This is beautiful. This is very powerful, very important. They totally nailed it. But then they're like, oh, but protein's not that important. You only need 40 or 50 grams a day. Let's not focus on that because we know that plants are always lower in protein. So we're just going to brush that under the table.